All right, welcome to the Morningwood podcast. We're back for the second episode now. For those of you that don't follow my socials, we made it to Alberta, so we're doing the first episode here in Alberta. It's Monday the 26th. Where I'm in Leduc, Alberta right now. Oh, I guess it's called Nisku, but anyways, right across from the airport, right to my side here is the airport. So if you're hearing any background noise, it's that and the highway. Yeah, so we're in Alberta. Pretty excited to be back. I'll get into the airplane ride in a bit here. There's a few things that happened on it, but yeah, nothing spectacular. Bit more prepared this time, I guess. Have beer, which is the biggest thing. Had my drug and alcohol test this morning, and I didn't know I had that this morning, and I got pretty fucking hammered last night. So it's a good thing I passed. Just a quick breathalyzer fucking whip and 0-0. So we were all happy there. Yeah, so that was this morning. That was the most important thing of the day to get done. It's pretty fucking boring here. I'm stuck in a $70 motel that the company put me in, and for those of you that aren't watching this right now, hopefully you'll be on Spotify listening to this, but if you're watching on YouTube, you can kind of see the backdrop here. It looks like a 70s motel from a Mexican murder, if I could describe it as best as I could. It's a really, really shitty looking room, but it came with an oven, so I can't complain. I can make my fried bologna, because that's some broke as fuck. Yeah. Yeah, so I got working on Spotify, so hopefully you guys will be hearing this episode on Spotify. Took a bit of work to get it done, and I'm still waiting on it. It seems like it's taken a fucking year to get it on there, but hopefully it'll be up and running by today, the end of today or tomorrow. It'd be nice. And then you guys don't have to look at my dumb ass while I'm trying to talk. It helps. And you don't have to, I think with Spotify, with Spotify you can actually listen to that having to like keep your phone on, which is always a benefit, because trying to walk around with the phone on in your pocket at work, because I assume most of you, if you're like me, you listen to a podcast at work to pass time. You listen to dipshits like myself. And yeah, it is pretty cool in this hotel though. Looking out the window up and down the highway, you see some pretty nice trucks running out through here. A lot of big tri-axle trucks, a lot of big loads going through. I forgot how nice it is in Alberta compared to Ontario there. In Ontario, they don't haul anything pretty nice up and down the highway, except for reefers for the most part, right? But yeah, so far so good here in Alberta. Tomorrow I have a few other training things to do, update on some tickets, and that's that. But let's get off the serious bullshit, I guess, and kind of get into some other stuff. So I heard that Morgan Wallen got into rehab for being a racist. I didn't really know there was rehab for that. Like, I can understand if, you're a fucking KKK member or like a neo-Nazi or something like that. Yeah, I can understand rehab being maybe a bit more of a necessity, but being a country singer that said the fucking N-word to his buddy when he was pissed drunk doesn't seem like quite a good reason to go to rehab to me. But what do I know, right? I'm just a fucking retard that likes to drink. But on that note, I think it's kind of ridiculous, because like, is that going to become a new normal, having to go to rehab? Like, let's say I'm at work and I let an N-bomb slip out because something pissed me off, or someone's pissing me off rather. Am I gonna have to go to rehab through work now? Is that going to become a new normal? Because I really don't feel that to be a fitting thing, especially in this scenario where he said it once on TV, or on the camera. Anyways, he said it once. And at the same time, he started a charity now. I should have probably read up on it before I did this podcast, but I just kind of jumped into it because I got in the mood for it. But he's doing a charity of some sort. I think it was to the youth of the black youth or something like that, to support them and all that stuff. So I think he said he's giving away like 50% of his proceeds from the Dangerous album to the black youth or something like that, to get them in school or supplies or something or other, which is his best album, and it was a double release album too, so that's a lot of fucking money to go towards that. Like, that's a big chunk of change to prove that you're not racist, really. Personally, if I ever got caught in that scenario, I'd just say I'm not fucking racist and walk away with it, and maybe not give away $1 million, but I guess if he feels it need to be fit, he can do it. So yeah, I wanted to cover that topic real quick because that kind of bothered me. I mean, I'm not racist in the sense that like I'd go out calling anybody that name, but in my dark sense of humor, I do like to joke around about that kind of stuff. But I don't feel that would be a fitting punishment by any means. So thought I'd just discuss that quick in case you guys hadn't heard about it. But yeah, so I flew in here yesterday. I took a stupid early fucking flight. I was on the plane for like 4 hours, which wasn't that bad at all. But I took a shit on the airplane, and I've never taken a shit on an airplane before because I used to be really scared of that. Not scared, just like antisocial, so I didn't want to get up and walk to the bathroom. But yeah, so I went and took a shit on the airplane, and it was horrible. Like I could smell it, and I was halfway up the air, like halfway through the airplane, and it was in the back. That is brutal. I felt so bad. Fucking one Middle Eastern lady there was just choking. I swear, you could hear her just choking in the back of the airplane when I walked out. But I got into the liquor pretty good the night before I got on the airplane, so it was just pure rum and fucking popcorn mixed into that mess. Wasn't too fucking pretty. Yeah, but besides that, the airplane ride was good. But I got thinking, how many, like, I don't know why I think about this so often in places, but why, like, how many people do you think have jerked off in an airplane bathroom? There's got to be a significant amount that have, like, have done that. You got to think about it because, like, especially if you're on those long flights to, like, Dubai or Tokyo or Australia, like, I'd imagine people jerk off on the fucking airplane. But when I was sitting on that toilet seat, all I could think about is, well, fuck, there's probably been a guy here that's some fucking, you know, I don't know, rig pig. He's probably dumped a fucking load on this toilet seat, and here I am taking a shit, thinking about it. So, it came to my mind. But then it also came to mind that I should have. I should have done the same fucking thing. But I don't know if I could go that far for a 4-hour flight. But I'll tell you, being stuck in a fucking hotel room with nothing to do, no work truck, nowhere to go, nobody visiting me. I think I've beat my personal fucking record twice now in the past 24 or the past day and a half. I think I've beat my personal record ever. Like, I've almost done it more than I have my entire fucking life. I don't think I've ever jerked off so much in my time. This poor lady that's gonna clean this fucking room, she might get pregnant just walking into the fucking thing. But fuck, I guess that's the way this podcast is gonna go, so I get fucking used to it if you're listening to it. But yeah, so I don't like being stuck in a hotel room. But it's only a few more days until I go out to the field, so that'll be all right. That won't be too bad. Yeah, no, the airplane ride wasn't bad. I took a nap most of the time, really. That's all you can do. And for some reason, I'm so fucking stupid. The lady came around with the headphones to listen to, or watch the TVs on the airplanes, and I thought you had to pay for them, so I said no. And then the girl next to me grabbed one, and then she didn't pay shit, and I was like, well, fuck me. And I was too socially awkward to be like, excuse me, ma'am, actually, yeah, I do want some. And at that point, I was like, fuck it. I guess I'll just sit this airplane ride through and listen to music, and that really fucking blew horribly. Yeah, here's another thing I fucking noticed off topic. And it was just as I started this just as I was about to click start on this podcast. How come Middle Easterns, whenever you see them, I'm not trying to like call out a fucking culture by any means, so don't cancel me. How come they're always fucking loaded, like 9 in a fucking car? Well, not realistically, but they always have a full car. Like, is that them being smart by saving money and only using one person's car? Or is there like a specific reason for it? Because every time you see it, there's always just four of them just jam-packed in them fucking Civics or Toyota Corollas. And I'd hate to know the stench coming out of that fucking thing. Like, you can only imagine it would smell worse than a cattle trailer at the end of a fucking rodeo. I just wouldn't want to be close to it. It'd be fucking disgusting. Christ. I can almost think about the smell now, and I'd think I might have to go chuff. Just be fucking nasty. Yeah. Anyways, that was really off topic. I got thinking about that. But yeah. So now that we're in Alberta, I guess I'm gonna have to find time in camp to make podcasts. I'm not sure how long they're gonna be. I'm still trying to figure out shit to talk about. Like, I've got stuff to talk about throughout the day. I'm like, oh fuck, that'd be good on a podcast. And then I go to sit down and write out what I want to talk about on a podcast, and then my mind goes fucking blank, and then I just go jerk off instead. So it's real, like a first world issue, I tell you. But I'm still working on it, and I'm sure now I'm gonna start writing down notes whenever I think about it. I'm just gonna write it down, and we'll go at it that way. We'll tackle that. We'll fuck that pig that way, I guess. Yeah, so I just write shit down for now. Yeah, so most of you guys probably heard about my TikTok or my podcast, I guess, through TikTok. So that's my main following, like, is through TikTok and or Instagram. But I've noticed lately that TikTok's really, really discriminating guys like us. Well, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm assuming you're a guy like me that's blue-collared, swears a lot, tends to say things he probably fucking shouldn't say, and likes to drink beer. And if you go any further than that, you're probably doing drugs, but that's just not my suit. But fucking give her anyways, right? But yeah, I posted a TikTok yesterday. Well, let me backtrack here a bit. I've posted 9 TikToks in the past month, and they've been taken down. I've been banned for 4 or 5 days at a time. So I haven't really been able to post on TikTok. So if you follow me on there, this is the reason why. So yesterday I had my final fucking straw, right? Because I'm trying to get this podcast out there. I'm trying to get people to know about it, and obviously self-promotion is the best way to do it. And TikTok took down my one video, and it was like, there's this massive fucking OBS Chev in Leduc here. So I took a photo in front of, or a video in front of it. I'm like, if there's one way to describe how small my dick is, and I panned off to this truck because I've got the smallest dick in the world. I have to let everybody know on TikTok, right? So I did that, and then I posted on TikTok. Like, I'm roasting myself, really, and it got taken down for bullying and harassment. So I guess now I can't bully myself on TikTok anymore. So that's great. That's great. But I've noticed lately, like, you can't post shit on you can't post anything on that app without getting taken down. Unless you're a 14 or 15-year-old girl, and you shake your butt cheeks, or you show off your fucking tits, or you walk around in a bikini for, the whole title or the whole time of the video. It seems so fucking weird. Like, I'm almost certain that these girls upload videos, and the guys that sit in the violations booth at TikTok are just beating their fucking meat like their step fucking uncle. Or let me rephrase that one. Christ almighty, I fucked that up. They're beating their meat like a fucking drunk stepdad does to his fucking stepson when he gets home from the bar. That's better. A lot better. Wish I could edit, but I'm not smart enough to do that, so you're just gonna have to bear with that one. That was a big fuck up on that. But yeah, so I'm kind of upset about it. Like, you can be a half-naked girl. Maybe, you know what, maybe that's the sign saying I should just maybe I should just become a fucking female. I'll identify as a female, and then none of my shit will get taken down. No, I couldn't do that. But yeah, no, it's kind of pissing me off quite a bit. I really, really wish that I could get videos out there without them getting taken down. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And by the way, for those of you that are watching, I feel really bad because I have, not bad ADHD, but somewhat of ADHD, and the highway's next to me, and I can't stop, but I can't help myself from stopping and looking at these fucking trucks that are driving by. So there's some pretty nice rigs rolling down this road. But yeah, so hopefully you guys are listening to this on Spotify. Hopefully you heard of it through my TikTok. Hopefully that post didn't get deleted by now. But given the celebration of me being back in Alberta, I figured I'd tell you guys my first sex story from Alberta. Now, where do I go back? So I got a hotel in Vagerville when I first got here, because my aunt lives there, so I figured I would go to Vagerville, visit her. I got a hotel. So I went on Tinder, and not many girls off Tinder. Like, usually I find that it goes Tinder's for the the hot ones, Bumble's for the mediums, and then Plenty of Fish is for the bottom, and then Matches for the faggots that are actually looking for a relationship. So yeah, I find that's how it goes. So I was on Tinder, and I wasn't striking too much luck. I'm not a very good looking feller, and I'm a greasy son of a bitch, so I couldn't get too much. And by the way, when I first came to Alberta, this story dates back to 2017, 2018, I think. But yeah, it was around there, so it wasn't anytime recent. But anyway, so yeah, I was on plenty of fish there, and I was, when you're down bad, you're just down fucking horrible. You'll take anything you can get at that point. I'm on POF, just fucking swiping like it's nobody's business. I was down so fucking bad I paid for premium on POF or whatever the fuck it is there, and I was just like, I've never seen a finger move so fucking fast. And yeah, I was just flying through that fucking thing, and I ended up matching with this one girl that lived just outside of this town, and she was probably the equivalent weight to a water buffalo. She was a big fucking woman, like a bigger woman for sure. And with big weight just on one on top, she was native too. So it just kind of like made that look. You can probably picture the girl you're like in your head right now. I'll paint you the picture. She was wearing those black leggings that cut off just above the ankle, and it was negative 28 or 30 degrees out, and she was wearing Birkenstock flip-flops. She had a Monster Energy sweater, but like the ones that you get from a rodeo or a derby, those cheap ones. And then she had a snake bite piercing. But I was down bad. I was down real bad, and I didn't feel like paying for a fucking prostitute back then. So I took her on. I adopted that one. And yeah, that really fucking sucked. That was brutal. I'll never recover from that one. That's for fucking sure. I'll never financially recover off that. Or emotionally recover off that, I guess. That was brutal. But yeah, that was my first hookup in Alberta, and it definitely didn't fucking leave a good taste in my mouth. Pun intended. Yeah, I thought I'd share that one. There's many other stories of that shit, but I'm kind of limited on my sex stories. I was told not many people, I guess, I don't post too much about it on my social media, well, my TikTok anyways, but my girlfriend told me I can't really be talking too much about hookups because she doesn't really want to hear it, and she listens to this podcast, I'd imagine, so, yeah, there's that, but not that I'm whipped and my balls aren't in the purse, my balls aren't fucking wrapped right up around her fucking fingertips and whatnot. It's just out of respect for my relationship that I'm not telling stories, but I'll throw one or two in there here and there. I won't get into details with it, that's for sure, but I don't think anybody wants to hear about the 30 seconds I had with a woman, so not much to tell. Stuck it in, pulled out. It's pretty much my sex life there. But yeah. Fuck, I'm my own bully thing. Now listen to myself sometimes. Christ all fucking lady. Maybe TikTok is right. I should stop picking on myself. But yeah, so for those of you that I guess live in Alberta, where the fuck was I going? But for those of you that live in Alberta, you need to get messaging me on my TikTok there, because I'm looking maybe by like October-ish to have a party here somewhere. Like I'll get an Airbnb or something here, and I want to have like a throwdown here, kind of meet people, because I'm not one of those fucking cocksuckers, and by any means I'm not saying I'm famous. I have 20,000 followers on TikTok, and then whatever this podcast will get me, and then whatnot. But I'd like to meet people. I like to have friends, and more friends the better, right? I grew up not having many friends, so I wouldn't mind making some off this app. So I'm thinking I'll have a big throwdown in Alberta here somewhere, make some friends, have some people to drink with, party with, and yeah, so I'll keep that up to date. But I've definitely got that planned out in my head, and we'll see how far I can get with that. Yeah, but I will be posting another podcast soon. This one's really fucking dry. I just didn't want to go too long without making another one, just in case in camp I didn't find the time to make one. So I figured I'd just pop out a quick fucking half-hour video here and try something else out. Try getting a few drinks into me and talking and what. I'm only 2 beers and it's not like I'm absolutely fucking shit-faced, but I need you guys to I mean, like, I've got a base idea of what I'm going to do on this podcast, but I'd like to hear from you guys, whether it's comments on my TikTok, in messages on my Instagram, messages on, I don't know if you can on Spotify, but you know what I'm getting after. Get into contact with me on what kind of shit I should talk about on here, because I'd like to build a podcast around, like, I have a basis of followers, right? I have a decent idea that my followers are, for the most part, blue-collared. They like to drink, like to do drugs, like to fuck, like to party, so on and so forth, with that kind of mindset, right? But I'd like to know what kind of shit you guys would like to hear about, because, you know, there's podcasts out there that talk about only sex and sex only. There's podcasts out there that talk about partying and partying only. So I'd like to kind of make a mix of both, but fuck, tell me what you want to hear, and I'll talk about it for sure. Like, even if it's just like a one podcast ordeal, I'll talk about that podcast. Or if you want a subject to fucking talk about, let me know, man. I'm open. I'm not going to be one of those guys that are like, oh yeah, it's my fucking podcast, I'm a podcaster now. I'm just doing it for the sheer fucking point of talking and hearing myself talk, and that's it. Gives me something to do. I find myself pretty bored, and especially in scenarios like this where I'm stuck in a fucking hotel room. Gives me something to do. And on that note, if there's anybody in really the world that you guys want me to have on a fucking podcast, whether it's through video, in person, like just talking to them, shooting the shit, getting them drunk, hearing stories from them, whatever it may be, let me know and I'll get into contact with them too. Like, I've been in contact with a few people. I'm not going to mention names because I like to keep that kind of shit as a surprise. But I have talked to a few people that said they'd be interested in being in a podcast. So we'll see what I can do with that. But yeah, so on that note, that's pretty much all I can say for now. And I'm pretty much out of ideas right now for, well, at this very second, for what to say on a podcast, because I'm not very prepared. I'm not a very prepared human being in the least bit. I'm a fucking retard, that's for sure. I can certify that one. But I think I'm going to tonight make my way up to a Canadian brew house, because I haven't been to one of those in about 4 fucking years. And of course, like, it's so funny. The second that I leave my home, well, it's not funny, it's just fucking ironic. Let me rephrase it. That the second that I leave my hometown, right, they're building a Canadian brew house in the town, like the big city near me, right, in Ontario there. In Barrie, Ontario, I guess, they're building the brew house. And I moved to Alberta. See, look, there's another one off topic, but going through the parking lot, 4 brown guys packed into a Mercedes-Benz. But yeah, anyways, so they're building one there, and sure as shit, like, literally the second I leave, I see it posted on Facebook. Canadian brew house coming to Barrie, Ontario, 2021, fall. Well, fuck, I just moved here, and I've been waiting for a brew house for the past fucking 3 years. I'm not going back to Ontario, though, for just a fucking brew house, that's for sure. I'm fine here. You guys will be seeing a lot of content on TikTok coming out of the oil patch. I'll be trying to post as much as I can about it. I have to keep out the swearing a bit more for TikTok. They've strengthened the guidelines so fucking strong that you can't get shit out there now. So I'll have to maybe make a bit more comical stuff without swearing and whatnot. Not sure how far I can get with that, because I like to fucking swear. Yeah, I'm gonna try to pump out as much as I can doing that. I mean, I'll be roughnecking, so you hardly get time for fucking lunch, let alone making a TikTok, but I'll be able to take the work truck and fuck around here and there, I'm sure. And then, what else is on my agenda? I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what's coming up in my life that you might be able to, if you're into that kind of stuff, you might be able to look forward into. When I get back to Ontario, I think I'll be doing I'm not going to name names, but I'm doing a drunk podcast. I have it lined up with one of my good buddies here. And it'll be more of us just shooting the shit. You'll be hearing stories about me when I was younger, or over the past few years. Good drinking stories of us getting fucked up, stories of us doing dumb shit. Maybe I'll tell a story about when I got arrested. I do have a story to come up soon about when I got tased in Edmonton, but that's for another. You know what? Fuck it, I'll tell it on this podcast, because This one's been dry as fuck, and I feel if you've made it this far, I fucking thank you, because it's one morbid fucking podcast to listen to. I'm sitting here thinking I might just delete this one, but I need to get one out. But I'll tell you the story about when I got tased in Alberta, well, in Edmonton, I guess. So 3 years ago, when I first came to Alberta, I went up to Grand Prairie. I was fracking up there for Halliburton, and I got pretty tired of that, as many guys would, fracking, because it's not very fun to do. So they paid for my AZ, and I was like, all right, thanks for paying for that, and I fucked off out of that company. And I came down to Edmonton to work for an undisclosed trucking company. So I ran for them, and I started seeing this girl down there, or down in Edmonton. So I moved in with her, and we went to a bar one night. And I'm not going to name names, because again, I don't really want to slander bars or get caught for slander or whatever the fuck it is. But it's a country bar downtown Edmonton. If you know anything about Edmonton, there's only two of them down there. Well, two big ones anyways. And I was there, and they had $2 jack shots. So I like my liquor pretty good. I enjoy a nice, refreshing liquor beverage. So I was pounding them back like they were going out of fucking style. Like, I think I spent close to $120, $130 on just Jack Daniel's shot. Like, not just for me, because, you know, that's pretty much crossing the line of alcohol poisoning at that point. But spent a fair amount of money on liquor that night. And there's this one guy across the bar that just kept fucking eyeing me up. Like, eyes on me the whole fucking time, no matter where I went. And this is before I ever made TikToks, or before I had Instagram following, really. So, not that I'm fucking famous again by any means. It was just, sometimes when I'm at the bar and later that night, somebody will come up and be like, hey, like, I've seen you on TikTok, I think. And I'm like, oh, yeah, like, whatever. But yeah, so like, it wouldn't have been anything to do with that. And I've never seen the guy in my life. So I was thinking, well, what the fuck could this guy want? And he came up to me that night and he said, you look fucking stupid. And that was it. I'm like, well, you look fucking stupid. Like, what do you mean I look fucking stupid? I'm just sitting here drinking my jack shots. And I was pretty much, if you're watching like my YouTube here, like, I had fucking jeans, a belt buckle, and a t-shirt on, and a hat. Like, it's not like I had a big fucking red clown nose on me, or, you know, I was wearing fucking Gucci and Louis Vuitton looking like a fucking retard. Like, I was just wearing normal clothing. So, it kind of caught me off guard. And then it pissed me off. And back in the day, your boy used to dabble in the nose beers quite often. So that pissed me off quite a bit. So I ran right to the bathroom and did a couple nose beers to get, you know, your courage. And I sat down, and I noticed he was going out for darts quite often. I was like, all right, I'll find my opportunity. So once I got that real nice coke high, like, I was just fucking, pardon me, I was just fucking cranked. I'm like, all right, that's it. So I told my girlfriend I'm going out for a dart. All right, sure. She didn't like that I smoked. Like, she didn't really know that I smoked, but I did. Like, she knew I did, but she didn't see it. So it was kind of strange to her for me to say I'm going to go out for a dart. Because around here I didn't do it. And she was like, all right, go for it, whatever, have fun. And so the second that guy left, I told her that. And he walked out. And the second that he walked out, I fucking, they have like this smoking fenced in area. And I just grabbed him by his throat and like his shirt kind of, and threw him over the fence. So he's outside of the premises of the bar. And I just I jumped over, hopped on the ground on the other side of the fence, and just started filling this fucking cocksucker in. Just left bombs to the nose. Like, I'm just trying to hit them in the spots where you know you can just stun the fucking guy. So I'm just going at his nose, just beating the fuck out of him, cracking him in the jaw. And then as I went to go kick the fucking guy in the head, like, I was just so fucking mad. I went to go kick the man while he was down, which is a good thing that the cop probably tased me, because you should never kick a man while he's down unless he did something serious for it. But the cocksucking cop, I didn't know he's there either, gets me right in the ass cheeks. And I dropped right on top of this guy, and when I landed, my nutsack landed right on this guy's fucking, like, nose-ish. So I thought that was kind of funny. I was laying on top, my nuts were on this guy's face. But the whole taser part wasn't very nice, and the cop was going to charge me for assault, and the guy that I fought, luckily he was a nice enough guy to the point where he was like, you know what, people fight at bars, that's that. I was banned from the bar for 90 days. And me and that guy, he's got a name, but I'm not going to mention his name, obviously. I bought him a drink at the bar next to that one later that night. Because this was only like 10:30 at night, so there's a whole night to be lived yet. I bought him a drink for doing that, obviously, because that's a pretty big charge to be facing. That could pretty much end a man's career for a couple of years. But yeah, so that's that story. It's not very funny, but it was just something. Anyways, I can't say I know too many other people that have been tased, and it definitely doesn't feel very good. I don't suggest it, anyways. But yeah, that was kind of funny. Well, not funny, but in the moment it was to those that were watching my 170-pound ass flop my nutsack onto this guy's face because I got tased. That's something. But yeah, on that note, I'm going to end this podcast here, I think, and probably go find myself some food. Gonna make myself, I think, a bologna sandwich and get into the booze a bit. See what I can't do when I get into the alcohol. Fuck, I might make another podcast tonight if I get into the booze. Start cracking some fucking stories out. And yeah, on that note, follow my TikTok if you don't already, at That Canadian Mullet. Same with Instagram, it's up there. For those of you that are listening on Spotify, I'd love it if you could, I don't know if on Spotify you can, I should probably figure this shit out before I try to fucking mention stuff. I'm a fucking idiot. If you can like a Spotify video or podcast, like it if you can. The YouTube is That Canadian Mullet as well. It means the world to me if you could go like on that, comment on it, subscribe to the page and or my TikTok. It means a lot. Not that I'm trying to get clout, but it definitely helps me build something, and the more I build something, the better I can do that. So if you've made it this far through the podcast or you're here to finish it, thank you so much. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you guys next Monday.